Welcome back and welcome to my garage. It's been about a week now since that last Mayhan event I did, and I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown on the car. So there are a few issues and little things I found with the car that need to be done, which is kind of to be expected from a shakedown event really. Like, you're always going to find little bits here and there when you're testing out a new car. So with that being said, I'll just show you what those were and then what I'm going to be changing and improving doing so. So starting from the front and working my way back, the first thing I kind of noticed after putting it in the garage is when I checked under the car, when I jacked it up to check under the car, there's a bit of an oil leak on the right hand side. So I'm going to need to diagnose exactly where that's coming from, whether it's on the sump or somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure yet, but that's something I need to sort out before I take it out next. The next big thing, which I knew was going to be an issue, is the steering lock on the FD, because they don't really have a whole lot, and I haven't done anything to this one. It's on the stock tie rods, no rack spaces, no knuckle modification or anything, which I'll be covering in another video because I feel that's a whole video on itself. So to remedy that, I've got a set of Urus rack ends with a built-in rack end spacer, some super nail tie rod ends, and I've made a knuckle for the car, which is a bit different to a regular cut and shut FD knuckle. I'll show you it later when it's on the car, but for now this is all I'll do until I do a full video on that. Working my way towards the back of the car, excuse the mess in the garage. I need to go and tidy up the whole thing one day, but the next thing I want to show you, once I find where I put my torch, here it is I've removed the diff out of the FD just because I had already brought a center diff. It's a CAS 2-way LSD, and I've got some new bearings here from Mazda. And yeah, so just being stock, I just wanted to change it to a proper mechanical LSD, but I didn't really have time or want to add too many jobs to the list before I took it out for a shakedown, as I just wanted to get out and see what was wrong with the car and then put it in the shed again to try to do all the major things I found with it at once. And so, as you saw in the video from the track day, there was a bit of play in the shifter, which these mounts at the back of the diff, as I suspected, are completely blown out. You can see at the bottom, they're just gone. So that's causing all my play, and I'm lucky I didn't do too much driving on that, as opposed to a normal car, well, not a normal car, but another model or something, the FD is actually ran on this as opposed to normal mounts on the diff and gearbox. It's called a PPF, which is a power plant frame, which Mazda uses on their FD3S, their Roadsters, and their RX-7. So it basically just connects the whole diff and gearbox together using this. And when you start putting power in the car and putting stress on it, these are prone to cracking, which I'm lucky it didn't, as there was a bit of movement in the diff, which very easily could have caused cracking in the welds or something like that. So I'm happy it hasn't done that. While this is out though, I'll give it a clean up and probably paint it, just so along with the diff while it's out, I'll probably clean this up and paint it too, just so when everything goes back in the car, it's all fresh and feels a lot nicer to work on when I have to work on it again in the future. So with getting out the diff, I didn't record it, and I don't really feel the need to record too much of this kind of stuff in the channel. If you want to go and watch how-tos and all that, There's plenty on YouTube, so I didn't really feel the need to do that. So I'll just briefly give you a rundown on what's sort of involved. It's got the 2 bolts on the back of the diff, 4 for the drive shaft. It's got 5 here on the front of the diff from the power plant frame, another 4 on the front of the power plant frame for the gearbox. It's got 3 on the rear knuckle, top, lower, and also I had to remove the exhaust, the rear half, and the middle part. Also, when I was trying to get the diff out, I couldn't exactly get the axle out. It seems to have been on here for such a long time that, like, I've tried hammering this out like a load, spraying CRCO and all that in there, but it hasn't seemed to budge. So I might need to get some sort of something bitter to spray in there, or either last resort heat it up and to try get it out, because I don't want to be stuck in an event and not be able to get my axle out if that breaks. So yeah, I need to free this up and be able to get these out. Although I can get the diff out with it in, it's not ideal. So yeah, I need to fix that. Moving on to the next issue. At the end of the video, as you saw, the car kind of started cutting out, which I thought was a fuel pump problem, and I'm not half wrong. I pulled it up to check I checked all the wiring for the fuel pump and everything looks good, like it still works. When I pulled up I opened up the tank. I'll just put it under. So I've already taken off the lines, and I'll just take a few of these out so I can show you inside. Alright, so as you can see on the filter, there's like a lot of shit. So basically, get this out, and the tank is basically completely rusted out. So I've gone ahead and ordered a new tank, a new filter for the fuel pump, and a fuel filter, and I'll get that all put together, and hopefully that is what my issue is. I believe it is. I'm back at home now, just editing this video, and I wanted to say how much I appreciated everyone's feedback and positive messages to my last video. It really means a lot and keeps me motivated to do more, as I was hesitant to post the video at the start, but I'm glad I did now. Today's video was short, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing with the car so it stays up to date and relevant. Anyway, as far as this channel goes, I've set myself the goal this year of producing at least 1 video per week, with the content mainly focusing on my driving, car, and the automotive scene in the Kansai region of Japan, plus anything else I find interesting. So that's about all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.